What is going on, my friends? My name's Corrupt. It is time to talk about Dragbat at Town Hall 12. We're going to explain everything that you need to know about this, from the base identification, when to use a slammer or a blimp, and also how to use the bat spells. So if you guys want to see more Town Hall 12 content here on the channel, make sure that you're subscribed and ring the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational Clash of Clans content. But without further ado, let's get started. So, let's take a look at this first example. We've got a lot of different things within this first one that's going to help you guys kind of understand the basics. This one, we are bringing in a couple things. We're using an E-Drag to create one particular side of the funnel. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in this replay. We've also got a Lava Hound, and you will see the use of the Lava Hound to tank for the dragons. And we've also got the Battle Blimp specifically for the Town Hall, which again, we're going to be talking about a little bit later on. So your key objectives when you guys are doing a Dragbat is the Town Hall, and then the multi-inferno and the wizard towers. Along with that, the eagle artillery. Those are going to be your four key objectives that you want to take down. Taking down as much splash as you can from the base and getting rid of the Town Hall. That it should be your number one priority. On this base design right here, you'll see that a lot of the splash damage is particularly on this side of the base, this side here. So that is already set in stone. We already realize exactly where all of the splash damage is, and we can send all of our dragons to there. So what we're going to do is we're basically just going to create a funnel using a Sui Hero on one side, using a E-Drag on the other, and then we're going to be sending in our dragons kind of going in like this in order to take down all three multi-target infernos, since they're right there, and we could take down possibly all the wizard towers and the eagle artillery, which is huge for this attack. So keep in mind that this is something that some base builders might do, but you can always take advantage of that. Now remember that you won't see a base like this, so that means that you want to look for as many of the splash damage defenses as you can. You want to look for at least 3 wizard towers at minimum, and also 2 multi-target infernos at minimum. If you're seeing a lot of single target infernos or triple single, this strategy works really well, so don't worry. Just focus on the eagle artillery and wizard towers if that's the case. But if you're seeing multi-infernos, try to make sure that you're getting all the splash that you can from the base with your dragon portion. So let's go ahead and first go over exactly what you need to do in order to send your dragons in, creating the funnel. You do want to make sure that you are getting some sort of pathing. So that means that you want to make sure that your queen is maybe picking off some of these buildings here. So for instance, like the air defense, maybe a wizard tower over there. So definitely you're getting some good value from your Sui Hero. And that's all that we're trying to do, even if our queen doesn't go in necessarily. Now on the other side, we're using an E-Drag. This has chain value, which means that you're looking for tile spaces that are at least 1 to 2 tiles or 1 to no tiles in between buildings. So keep that in mind, because you want to make sure that your E-Drag chains just enough so that you're going to be able to send everything in. Now in this case here, we're going to be sending in our dragons with a Lava Hound. Now I did mention talking about the Lava Hound. So you'll see the use of the Lava Hound here. It's going in for the air defense. It's going to be tanking for our dragons as they enter in. That way, we have some lava pups to kind of soak up any air traps over there, and it just allows ourselves to kind of get through a large portion of it. Now you'll see the use of the Battle Blimp as well. The reason that we're using the Battle Blimp here, and we delayed it if you noticed, we didn't use the warn ability at all, and we kind of waited until the dragons were kind of right in the base here. So that means that the blimp has enough time when we pop the warn ability to get to the Town Hall if it's all the way on the other side of the base. So you'll see the use of the rage spells in order to kind of push our dragons through, but then also using the warning ability in order to make sure that the dragons are staying alive, but also the Battle Blimp gets straight over to the Town Hall, making it very easy for us to get through it, and using the balloons and the dragon from that clan castle in order to take down the Town Hall. Now, when you guys are doing the bats, you want to make sure that you are either doing it in one of 2 ways. You're either doing it in a bat wave, which we're going to show you guys a little bit later on, and a bat bomb. This version here is a bat bomb. So you're going to see the use of the freeze, no rage spell, but it's going to be a freeze, and then dropping it that freeze on the wizard tower, not the other point defenses, because you want to make sure that you are protecting your bats over that, and you want them to accumulate over time, over the point defenses, and over the splash, of course. But after that, you've gotten rid of a large portion of the splash damage defenses, and you just want to make sure that you're able to get through all the way through with the bats. But for the most part, that is it. Now, we do have a couple more examples to show you guys in terms of opening up your mind in terms of using the Dragbat, but for the most part, this is definitely a strategy that I would suggest really trying out. It is very, very powerful, very strong, and hopefully what I'm going to be able to do for you is break it down just enough so that's going to allow you to wreck bases at Town Hall 12 a lot easier now that you have access to using a stronger Dragbat army. So hopefully this video will find you well as you watch throughout the rest of it. But let's go ahead and show you guys an example of using a Stone Slammer and an Ice Golem. Now, here is this second example. I want you guys to understand a couple things. You already know what we're looking for if you watched the first example. Now, in this one, we're going to be doing a couple things. We've got an Ice Golem. We're going to be using a super wall breaker with the Queen and the Ice Golem. So you're going to see a different use of the Ice Golem than typical. And then you're also going to see the use of the Stone Slammer instead of the Blimp. You're also going to look at a Bat Wave a little bit later on in this attack, so make sure that you're staying tuned as we go through this. So when should you use the Stone Slammer? Well, there isn't really a big need for using the Battle Blimp in this case, because our dragons can push right through the Town Hall with these, so we don't need to use the Battle Blimp. However, of course, maybe you could, but it's not really worth it. Now, another thing that you want to do is something that you may want to think about is using the Queen, holding on to her, and then using the Super Wall Breaker and Ice Golem to get rid of the multi-target Inferno if there's a compartment there that allows you to kind of open that up and open up the multi-Inferno tower compartment and to take it down. So that's something that you guys can always do. But what we're going to be seeing from this one is by using the King on one side, we're going to create this part of the funnel here, and we're going to do the same thing on this side with a dragon, baby dragon, and a couple balloons in order to get down some of these defensive buildings. So that's exactly what I want you guys to really understand, is creating pathing enough so for your dragons to move in. Now, we don't have to do a long, we don't have to wait long. As long as we can get the dragons to move for the Town Hall, we're all good. And you'll see the use of that. We've even got the Stone Slammer going in for the going in for the multi-target Inferno. So most of the time people will send it in right behind the dragons, but I believe it's better if you send it in away from them and to get more value, especially when the value is a little bit more spaced apart. So you'll see the use of the Rage spell in order to get the dragons through the Clan Castle and through the Town Hall, and using the Warden ability to protect them from the Giga Bomb. Outside of that, though, you will be using a Sui Hero with the Queen to take down a multi-Inferno. I would only do this if the base allows me to do so, but it's really not a big deal either way. Because what you're able to do from that is you're getting down another multi-target Inferno. So let's say if there were 2 multi-Inferno towers that you got with the dragons, you could probably Sui Hero, hold your Queen with the use of a Super Wall Breaker, and then break open another compartment to get another multi-target Inferno. Something that I never really thought about, but something that is very interesting and thought I might share it with you guys. Now, what we're going to be taking a look at here is the use of a Bat Wave. Notice that we have a bunch of Teslas up here, so we're going to be using the Bat Wave on the corner edge, the edge here of the base, in order to allow ourselves to kind of get right over all of these defenses down. So what we want to make sure that we're doing is allowing the bats to overwhelm each of these point defenses before going into a splash defense. So you'll see that they're going to be overwhelming each of these and almost one-shotting each of these defensive buildings. And outside of that, that is all that is going to be. You may have already noticed that a a red air bomb took down some bats. Keep in mind that if dragons are close to bats and they trip a red air bomb, it will or it might lock onto the bats. So keep in mind that that could happen and that could ruin an entire raid, which is the reason why I would suggest putting your bats away from any flying units. That way they are less likely to get targeted by those traps or get stuck in a tornado trap. Let's give you guys one final example to give you guys an idea of how you guys can use Dragbat at Town Hall 12. We've got the final example right here, and this is just going to be a good overview on what you guys should be looking for and what you should do with the dragons. Now, this one, we're not using an Ice Golem, we don't have an E-Drag, and we don't have a Lava Hound. This means that we're just doing a plain old Sui Hero and then sending in the dragons. This is just going to allow us to hold one more dragon or a couple more dragons and a couple more balloons as we can send everything in. Now, you would think, would a Battle Blimp be better on this base? And yes, you would be correct. A Battle Blimp is a ton better because you can send it in right this way for the Town Hall. However, if you notice this spot here, is there a hole in the base? There is. So we can actually take advantage of that, especially when the Town Hall is reachable. What we can do is we can actually use Sneaky Goblins. You see, one Sneaky Goblin to test for any traps, and then sending 5 Sneaky Goblins for the Town Hall will be enough to take it down. So that is something that I would try to keep in mind. So if you guys are planning on using this, and you see a hole in the base and the Town Hall, there's a compartment or a little wall tile that opens up the Town Hall compartment, take advantage of it. Something to keep in mind. It's a really good way to break through. Now, you'll see the use of the Rage and the Warren ability as they push through a lot of damage, a lot of DPS, as they kind of take down each of these splash buildings. Now, while we're doing this, we also have the use of a different Bat Bomb. This being the use of Rage, Freeze, and Bats, like you see here. Typically, I wouldn't really recommend this unless you're taking out so much of the base with the dragons and a lot of the splash is gone. You could probably do this specific portion. You don't really need another Rage for your dragons as you push through. So you'll see that we are going to do a half speed just to give you guys the idea of kind of what's going through with this. We used the freeze over the multi-inferno and the wizard tower since they were very close together. The bats are going to go all over the place, but for the most part, they're going to stay in one central location. Usually you want to only do this if, for the most part, you're going to be able to get a fair amount of bats to the second wizard tower or to another splash building. But for the most part, I would suggest just doing a bat wave. Outside of this, though, you can easily wreck through a lot of different bases when you guys are using this attack. Now, if you're seeing a Lava Hound in the clan castle, I would suggest moving it away by using an archer. That's just going to help you kind of move it away from your main portion. So if it's stuck in the center of the base, it'll be a good idea to just lure it out with the use of an archer. And that's definitely a pro tip to keep in mind because it can really help when going through a lot of different bases. But for the most part, that, guys, is gonna do it for the video. Hopefully, you guys will be able to understand the dragons and the Dragbat a lot better. Make sure that you guys are going ahead and subscribing to the channel and ringing the notification bell so you guys don't miss any of my educational yet entertaining Clash of Clans content. Also, don't forget to follow me over on the social, follow me over on Twitch, join my community Discord server, and also use code CorruptYT to save you guys 10% off on the Clash Champs shop. So make sure you guys do that. Other than that, though, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.